Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read All Aboard Level 5, Unit 5, Ice and Snow. Activity 2. Read and listen. How can they find the correct house? Matt and Megan stood on top of the mountain. Gretch showed them some houses in the distance. Your next clue is in one of those houses, he said. There are lots of houses, said Megan. How are we going to find the correct house? You can ask me one question, Gretch replied. But only one. Okay, Megan said. Which house is the next clue in? Good question, said Matt. Come on, Gretch. Tell us the answer. Go west and you'll find it, said Gretch. But which way is west? Matt asked. You have already asked me one question. I gave you the answer, said Gretch. Page 41, Activity 1. Read and listen to the story, then act it out. If we watch the sunset, we'll find the correct house. You're right. The sun always goes down in the west. It is nearly sunset now. Soon Matt and Megan could see the correct house. It is so far away. Maybe Gretch will lend us some skis. Gretch won't offer us any help, but I know this is going to be exciting. I promised you an exciting ride. Hold on tight. Look out. We're going to hit that bush. Is it the correct house, Megan? Yes, it is. Look, I've brought you the next clue. It's a shovel. Write the word in the correct order. The sun showed them the correct house. Gretchy, blah, blah, blah. Page 42.
Unit 5, Lesson 2, Activity 1. Listen to the story, then act. Unit 5, Lesson 3, Activity 3.
Vocabulary Activity 2. Complete using words from the chart and number the pictures. Noun, 명사, cloud, clouds, fog, 안개, 안개, ice, sun, rain, snow, wind. Adjective, 형용사. You put y after the noun, so it becomes cloudy, foggy, icy, sunny, rainy, snowy, windy. Words such as fog or sun and sun, you got to put one more consonant after G, y, and ny, because one vowel with one consonant on each end. Number 1, it's an icy day. The ice is very slippery. Number 2, it's a snowy day. The blank. Activity 3, read and choose and listen and sing. You're going to listen to the song.
Listen and sing.
Listen and sing.
Another rainy day.
Another rainy day.
Look out of the window. What is the weather like? Is it a beautiful sunny morning? Can I go for a ride on my bike? Oh no, it's another rainy day. The wind is cold and the sky is gray. When will these dark clouds go away? I don't want another rainy day. Another rainy day.
Page 43, Geography. Activity 1, talk about these questions. What's the weather like in Antarctica? Where is the South Pole? Would you like to visit the South Pole? Why? Or why not? Activity 2, read Then choose true or false. Antarctica. Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth. In the winter, the temperature is about minus 50 degrees Celsius. In the summer, it's still icy. It's very windy too. Antarctica isn't part of any country, so scientists from all over the world can go there and study the weather. The South Pole is in the center of Antarctica. At the South Pole, there is only one sunset every year. It is dark for 6 months in the winter, and it's light for 6 months in the summer. There are 24 different time zones in the world. For example, when it's 2 o'clock in Mexico City, it's 3 o'clock in New York, and 4 o'clock in Buenos Aires. All of the time zones meet at the South Pole. When you're at the South Pole, you can choose the time. Page 44. Look at the picture. What's the man doing? Activity 2, listen and choose. We're going to listen to that.
Unit 5, Lesson 5, Activity 2. Listen and choose.
The Human Ice Cube.
In November 2000, the American magician David Blaine did something amazing. He stood in an enormous block of ice for nearly 3 days. Nobody has ever stood in a block of ice for so many hours. He couldn't eat anything when he was inside the ice. He drank water through a tube. He couldn't speak to anybody. He couldn't sleep because he was too cold. The block of ice was on a busy sidewalk in New York. He couldn't hear anything, but he could see. People wrote questions for him. When somebody asked him something, he nodded or shook his head.
Look at the red boxes. I heard somebody. 긍정문에 we use somebody or someone. 부정문, negative sentences, we use not anybody. I didn't see anyone, anybody. 의문문, did you meet anybody or anyone? Nobody means 아무도 뭐뭐하지 않다. Nobody spoke to me. 가끔 somebody를 의문문에 쓸 때도 있습니다. 그럴 때는 좀 예외적인 경우예요. 마찬가지로 anybody가 긍정문에도 쓰여질 수 있습니다. 그건 좀 예외적인 경우예요. Activity 3, complete using anybody or anything, then ask and answer. Activity 4, tell the class, think of a time when you met somebody less interesting, when you saw something unusual, when nothing made you smile, when nobody believed you. I saw something unusual on the weekend. I met a magician at the concert, and he was so weird. Now we move on to page 45. Read the story, number the picture. Adventure at the North Pole. Number 1, Sir Ranulph de Fiennes is a British explorer. In February 2000, he started a dangerous journey. He was trying to get to the North Pole on his own. It took 2 sleds to carry his food and his tent. They were very heavy. He had to pull the sleds over the ice and snow. Number 2, the trip started well, but after 7 days, something terrible happened. As he was pulling his sleds across the ice broke. One of the sleds fell into the water under the ice. 3, if I don't get my sled back, I won't have any food, thought Fiennes. He put his hand into the water and pulled his sled out. The water was icy, his hand was frozen, and he couldn't use it. The Fiennes was very worried about his frozen hand. He stopped his trip and put up his tent. It was very difficult with only one hand. Activity 2, guess the answers to the question. Number 1, Fiennes made a fire. Why? Number 2, Fiennes used his radio. Why? Number 3, an airplane arrived. Where did it take him? Writing tip, use and to join short sentences. Activity 3, listen and check answers to activity 2. We are going to listen to the story again.
Unit 5, Lesson 6, Activity 3. Listen and check your answers to Activity 2.
Ranulph Fiennes was very worried about his frozen hand. He made a fire and he tried to warm his hand. It didn't work. He used his radio and called for help. Then he waited. A few hours later, an airplane arrived. It took Ranulph Fiennes to a hospital in Canada.
Page 40 is activity 4. Write the end of the story. You're going to write it. Page 46, mysteries of the world 1. The Yeti. We're going to read and listen to the story. The Yeti. In 1832, an explorer traveled to the Himalaya. The people there told him stories about a strange animal called the Yeti. It lived in the snow, they said. It was very tall, much bigger than a man. The explorer didn't believe the stories. These people had probably seen a big monkey, he thought. But the stories about the Yeti continued. A lot of explorers went to the Himalayas. They wanted to find the Yeti. Some of the climbers told stories about a strange animal in the snow, but nobody came back with evidence. In 1925, a photographer named Tom Bazzi saw a Yeti when he was climbing. He was about 300 meters away from him. He was with some other people and they saw the Yeti too. Tambaji tried to take a picture, but the Yeti disappeared. Tambaji went to look at the snow and he found footprints. They were enormous. The best clue about the Yeti comes from China. There were stories about Yetis in China too. A scientist called Jean Poirier traveled to farms in China and collected pieces of hair. When people examined the hair, they found something amazing. The hair did not come from any normal animal. Maybe it's the first real evidence of the Yeti. The end.